So, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the best controller binds for non-claw players. I've made a ton of videos on claw binds ever since I started playing on claw, but with more people playing on non-claw nowadays, and some of you guys obviously not wanting to transition to claw or invest into paddles, I believe this video is perfect for you. Starting off with the PlayStation controllers, and yes, both the PS4 and PS5 controllers follow the same layout. We're going to have the right stick for jump, and we're going to have X for crouch as well as square for tactical sprint. Right stick jump is just the standard for non-claw players nowadays, because you'd much rather be jumping with right stick, not moving your finger away from the right thumbstick, than pressing it on X, which is just not great. A lot of people say that this is gonna mess up your aim, but it really doesn't. You just have to get used to the binds, and honestly, you'll have 10 times better movement than those people who play on X for jump whilst playing on non-claw. Next up, we're going to have circle for reload / use, which is basically the sort of replacement for the square button for reload. For toggle pickaxe, we're going to have triangle. You don't want to be spamming this button too much. You definitely want to be blueprint editing or blueprint building. And speaking of building, we're going to put that straight into our touchpad, which you will be pressing like this. This is not claw, you kind of just extend your left index finger all the way to the top. You kind of press the top portion, and this is sort of an exploit that PlayStation controllers have. Now, I am aware that there's a lot of binds here that you can't put on, like especially like the rotate repair or the toggle map on the building section, which is why I recommend disabling toggle inventory and emote / replay for the building binds. I would personally lay it out like this with the right D-pad for map, the rotate / repair on the bottom side, and the top D-pad for trap equip, picker, place, or use. For the edit controls, we're going to have R2 select, L1 confirm, and R1 reset as always. Then we will have left stick edit, which is probably the most universally accepted edit bind for non-claw players and even for claw players. This is probably the best edit bind that you can get for non-claw, and you'll see why even for the Xbox controllers. The rest of this stuff isn't important. Obviously, you want to change your emote / replay to something different, or maybe you can keep it. I don't know, that's up to you. Our toggle map, toggle inventory will stay the same. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I need to show you guys some of the other binds because these aren't really that important. I mean, unless you guys care about flying or rocket racing, then obviously these binds are not into the competitive action of Fortnite. And yeah, let's move on to the Xbox controllers. For the Xbox controllers, we're going to have right stick for jump and A for crouch. Then we're going to have I'm pretty sure it's called the select button on the Xbox controller for tactical sprint. Now, I don't really have a video description of this, but you essentially want to move your left thumbstick all the way up, and then you kind of want to extend your thumb all the way to where it's in the middle of your thumb. And then you want to use the tip of your thumb to click the select button. Now, it's really hard to do, especially for the first time, but once you master this is actually really good because it allows you to utilize an extra button on the Xbox controller. With the PlayStation controllers, it's the touchpad, so this is probably the equivalent of it, except it's a little bit harder. For reload and use, we're going to place that on X, pretty standard. For toggle pickaxe, we're going to place that on B. And for our switch mode, we're going to place that on Y. These are interchangeable. You can have switch mode on B and then toggle pickaxe on Y if you want to. For edit mode, we're going to have RB select, LB confirm, and RT reset. And then we're going to have left stick edit, which since I talked about the left stick edit being very influential, especially for PlayStation controllers, it is still the same for Xbox controllers. Your fingers are already resting on the left thumbstick, and with edit bind being probably the most important bind in Fortnite right now, you have to make use of it. Everything else, once again, is going to stay the same or very similar. You just want to adjust it if ever there's a missing bind or something like that. I wouldn't copy these directly, but I would copy the main ones like jump, like crouch, like tactical sprint, and so on and so forth.